is this, and how do you know? I see 2 silently raised hands. Love it. What kind of text this is how do you know? That means you're opening it, maybe you're skimming it, checking out what's in here. Naya, what do you think?
I think this text is an informational text because
I'm looking around the room for who's agreeing, who's disagreeing.
because it has sections about people.
Okay.
For example, it says something about Ida B. Wells, and it's in 1913 journalist Ida B. Wells organized the first women's club for African Americans in Chicago. So I think that's the information.
Okay, so Margie, you want to build on? Go ahead.
I say it is an informational text because it's saying how, it's giving us information about Black Americans, and it's showing us pictures and dates.
Good, love it. I'm gonna put my first jot in the corner, informational. And here are the things that I just heard my brilliant preppy say. First thing I just heard Samarji say was awesome is real pictures. That's always a good hint. The other thing she said, and Samarji, you can mark an addition for contributing for each of these because they're great thinking. The other thing she said, no sir, are dates. Dates are always a really good clue as well. And what I heard Naya say as well was real people. Like Naya even recognized one of those names. You want to add on? Oh, can I zoom in? Yeah, certainly. So I'm just going to put a jot right there in the corner. All right, so if this is an informational text, what am I thinking about today then as a good reader as we're going through this? What am I asking myself? Chris?
You are asking yourself,
How do they, is it, do you make a non-fiction game plan?
We're moving away from the game plans. We're not going to make an exact game plan, but what are the questions, Chris, we ask ourselves when we make a nonfiction game plan? What are our thinking jobs as really good readers when we read a nonfiction text? And Chris, you can call on somebody else to help you out if you forget, bud. Yeah, Maya, help us out. What this text is mostly about. Okay, but how are we going to get there? What are the specific questions I'm thinking about as I read today to get there? Think about your game plans, guys. How do we organize them? What are the questions? Samarji.
Like the character trait. Characters.
Who wants to respond? Naya?
I agree with Samaje, and I'm going to add on, I think with the new knowledge and the topics and what the author's perspective is.
There we go, Naya. So let's stop for a minute. I know it's been a while. Let's get back in the zone. When we read an informational text, our thinking jobs. Number 1, as Naya just said, we're going to figure out what's the topic. Number 2, we're going to figure out what's the new information we're learning about the topic. And number 3, we're going to ask ourselves, what's the author's perspective on this topic? Okay? I know it's been a while. All right, so let's start with number 1 right off the bat. Just taking a look at the title of this text, and since you already skimmed it, what do you think the topic is going to be? Make an inference. Jay?
The right for women to vote.
Really loud so I can hear you.
The right for women to vote.
The right to women to vote. Does anybody want to add on, disagree? Naya, let's hear it.
I think I agree with Jen and Adam. I think this is going to be about all the women that took their life for women to vote.
Okay. And what's giving you that hint, by the way?
Because it says African American suffragists, and I know that suffragists are women that helped us get the right, women get the right to vote.
Good. I'm hearing the word suffragist. That tells me it means it's going to be about the right to vote. So Margie, what else?
I'd say it's probably how women fought for their rights to vote.
Good. How women fought. Hey, Chris, looking at this title, do you think it's going to be about how all women fought?
Yeah.
No. I think it's going to be about how women fought for their rights, not like all women.
Okay. Ramaya, you want to build on?
I think it's going to be about not how all women, well, a lot of women were protesting and trying to get the
Okay, Jay, last thought?
I think the answer to your question was about black women getting the right to vote.
Why?
Because on the title it says African American, and it doesn't really say how all women got the right to vote.
Good. So this is probably going to be having to do with how black women got the right to vote. Good. Way to work through that, Jay. All right, so let's jump right in. We're going to read the first 2 paragraphs. I'm going to read it once first. I'm not going to popcorn read, but I'm going to read it once first. As I'm reading it, I want you listening for how I pronounce every word. You can step out when you need to, Bryce. How I pronounce every word. And I want you listening for my speed, because as soon as I'm done, we're going to read it together. All fingers pointing to the word before. All fingers pointing to the word before. Before the Civil War, black and white women had worked together to abolish slavery. They were divided, however, in 1869 when women were not included in the 14th and 15th Amendment. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, white suffragists, for the most part, ignored African American women. But despite the challenges they faced, African American suffragists played an active role in the fight for the suffrage. If the vote was necessary to protect white women's rights, then black women, who faced racism as well as sexism, needed it even more. Does anybody have a question about how to say a specific word in this, because we're about to read it together? Are there any words you want me to repeat before we read it together? Nine.
No.
When it says the word over top, like right before the slavery.
Abolish. Everybody circle that word. Abolish is how you say that. Say it out loud. Abolish. Good. Samar J, one more word before we read together.
The one is before white.
Before
It's after white.
this one?
Second paragraph.
This one?
White.
Centuries?
No.
Suffragists?
Suffragists?
Yeah.
Suffragists.
Yeah.
You know the word suffragists. You don't know that word?
No, because he like 2 of them and
It's suffrage.
Okay, everybody say suffragists.
suffragist.
All right, here we go. Reading on my count. From the top, we're going to read both paragraphs. 1, 2, 3. Before the Civil War, black and white women had worked together to abolish slavery. They were divided, however, in 1869 when women were not included in the 14th and 15th Amendments. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, white suffragists, for the most part, ignored African American women. But despite the challenges they faced, African American suffragists played an active role in the fight for suffrage. If the vote was necessary to protect white women's rights, then black women who faced racism as well as sexism needed it even more. My first question for you is this. What are we learning about our topic? You guys just told me that the topic is the right to vote, specifically how African American women won the right to vote. What am I learning from these very first 2 paragraphs about African American women getting the right to vote? Jay, start us off, and I want everybody listening to agree or disagree or
We
build
all
on.
learned that in the 14th and 15th Amendment, the African American women, they weren't included in this.
We're learning that they were not included. What does that mean to you?
It means that we weren't a part of it, and just like other people were a part of it, and we didn't take action.
Okay. Remind, go ahead and build on.
I was gonna say that they didn't have the right to be, they didn't have the right to be in a 14th or 16th
Okay, that sounds a little similar to what Jay just said. They weren't included. Naya, what else do you want to add?
I want to add on the second paragraph when it says that during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, white suffragists were for the most part, ignored African American women.
Okay, what's that mean to you? Why did you pull that out as significant?
I think this is significant because that means that the white women that was helping us get the right to vote, they didn't care about us. They cared about themselves, and their people.
Does anybody want to add on to that? Tyrone, can you add on to that?
I want to add on that I agree with what I said, and I want to add on that the white, even though white and black women were the same gender, they only cared about what they only cared about their race.
Who only cared about their race?
White women.
Good. So I'm jotting down what you guys just said. You can make your paper look like mine so that we have these notes as we go around. The two things I wrote down is black women not a part, and I'll add of 14th, 15th Amendment. I'm just taking notes, okay? I'm not writing complete sentences. It's just a college skill. We jot down a few words to remind us. The other thing I'm writing down, white women did not care about black rights. That was the other thing that I heard you say. Yep. What would you say, if we have to say that there was a problem emerging here, what could we say the problem is that we're starting to see in our text? And I see one hand, but I want to hear from somebody I've not yet heard from. What problem is starting to emerge here, Samarja?
Well, the problem is that all black women did not want all their rights, and white women they just kept asking for rights and was marching.
So I just heard you say that black women did not want all of their rights.
You
and that,
just said that black people did not care about their rights.
did I say that?
Yeah.
Who wants to respond to that? Jada, go ahead and respond. And Samarja, listen to what Jada says, please.
I disagree with Samarja because white women they didn't really care about the black people, and they,
What specifically are we talking about here, though? Are we talking about everything related to life? What's the specific topic of our article?
I don't know. Wait a minute.
Go back to our topic. Suffrage. So what specifically did white people not care about that you're trying to say? Put in a complete sentence for me.
The white women didn't really care about voting, and they didn't really care about their rights.
White people didn't care about voting for themselves.
White people didn't care about voting for rights.
Let's zoom in here one more time. But despite the challenges they faced, African American suffragists played an active role in the fight for suffrage. If the vote was necessary to protect white women's rights, then black women, who faced racism as well as sexism, needed it even more. My question for you is, what problem is starting to emerge here? Marcellus.
My problem
What problem in this text is starting to emerge?
what's starting to emerge is how black people, how black ladies or women, I don't care,
Okay?
should are protecting the white ladies, and that they think that and black people think that they need the same thing that white people have. I don't get it. I don't get none.
Okay. Somebody want to respond to Marcellus?
I know it's not saying this.
Jada.
I think that white people didn't care about.
What is it that we're learning about that black people wanted that white people did not care about giving them? That's my question.
The right to vote.
Good.
White people didn't care about giving black people the right to vote.
How you gonna give me
And the African American women, they fought and they stood against the black people.
Good. Let's pause there. So here's what I just added down. White people didn't care about giving